All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle. Go check them out. You will not be disappointed. We're also brought to you by Marin Auto Glass and Sharp Corners Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California. Call Anthony Catania at 831-521-5264. We are also brought to you by valleyhillroofing.net, 209-481-6851. The links are in the descriptions to both their websites, and we appreciate them for being sponsors of the Krug Show. All right. Let's talk on the 49ers. I mean, we've looked a lot back this week at the Super Bowl, and man, it's just every single time it's just painful how close the Niners got, and once again, they're still, in pursuit of that Super Bowl trophy. But free agency will be here before long. I took a gander at the free agent list, and I came up with the 10 free agents that I think I would definitely have some interest in if I'm the 49ers. Now, it's hard to say. They're not going to sign 10 free agents. I'll tell you that right now. Their pattern has been that they let most of their free agents walk, and then they'll sign like one or two big-time free agents. We'll see. Maybe this year will be a different approach. But just looking at the list, looking at their roster, the 49ers have a number of free agents at different positions. Chris Conley is a free agent at wide receiver. If you look at their D-line, Randy Gregory, Chase Young, and Cleveland Farrell are all free agents, so they probably are going to need some help there. Javon Kinlaw, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Kevin Givens. 3 defensive ends, but then 3 defensive tackles. So they got 6 defensive linemen that are free agents. Oren Burks and Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles are free agents at linebacker. Tayshaun Gibson's a free agent in the secondary. Logan Ryan is also a free agent. So, I would say most of their free agents are going to walk away. That would be my guess. So I'm just going to give you the 10 guys of interest that I think might be gettable. I mean, these aren't the 10 best guys out there because I just didn't, L'Jarius Sneed is available, for example. I don't have L'Jarius Sneed coming to the 49ers, though that would be an impactful signing for sure. These aren't necessarily the 10 best players. These are just 10 players that I really like in free agency and I think would be good fits for the 49ers after looking at the list. All right, let's go down the list. Maybe the most important position in pro football today is the slot corner, and Kenny Moore from the Indianapolis Colts is a guy that was supposedly available at the trade deadline. He is one of the NFL's better slot corners. He's aggressive, he's a hitter, he's a cover man. He's not the biggest bodied guy, but he's a player. So I really like Kenny Moore. So I have Kenny Moore on the list as a slot corner if they invest in free agency in a slot corner. Kyle Duggar, the safety for New England. I keep throwing out, hey, what about Belichick? What about Belichick? Man, I'd love it if the Niners could get Belichick and Kyle Duggar. To me, that would be a great way to kind of change their whole outlook defensively. Duggar's a big-time safety. You don't know about the health of Fafanga going forward. You need safeties. You can gamble in the draft with some young guys for sure, and there'll be plenty of opportunities there. But Duggar's a proven playmaker with New England, and if you could add that piece to what you already have with your 6 young defensive backs, I think that could be the key cog on the back end going forward for them. Azeez Al-Shaair, Tennessee. I mean, Dre Greenlaw's done for the year, most likely with the Achilles, and you need somebody who knows the defense, and Al-Shaair does know the defense. He's a hyperactive tackling machine. He was on the sideline for Niners-Packers, so maybe he's still has some good feelings about his days with the 49ers. I would definitely call up Azeez. I mean, he's a serious run and hit linebacker, and you'd want a guy like that on your team. At offensive guard, I think they need to be a little bit more stout at guard. Damian Lewis from Seattle, the former LSU Tiger, has always been a favorite of mine. Guy's just super broad, super wide, very athletic, good, you know, athleticism, great speed for a big man. I like Damian Lewis. So if Seattle wants to let go of Damian Lewis, I'd be very interested in plugging him in at guard. Noah Fant. You know, if the Niners are going to let go of Kyle Juszczyk to save money, and I think there's a very good chance they could, they're going to need somebody who can play, you know, all those roles that Juszczyk plays. I think Fant in a lot of ways could do that, maybe for a lot cheaper. So you got Fant who could play tight end, he could play fullback. You know, he in a lot of ways I think would be a good replacement for Kyle Juszczyk if you could no longer afford Kyle Juszczyk. Quarterback wise, Carson Wentz I think is an interesting name. He's on the list. Darnold's a free agent. Allen's a free agent. You know, every time I watch Wentz, he looks good. He looks good against the Niners. I mean, he's mobile. He's big. He's impressive to me. That's the guy that I would go for in free agency if I was going to go for, you know, maybe bring back Brandon Allen as the 3, maybe bring in Wentz as the 2. That might not be a bad decision. On defensive end, Jonathan Greenard from Houston. He's 26. He's in his prime. He's coming off a really nice year. You know, the Niners are going to have to replace a number of defensive ends. This guy could be your number one guy opposite Bosa. You know, as I said, he's 26. He's got a great bend, great speed off the edge. It's just all about, you know, avoiding little nicks and staying healthy. If Greenard stays healthy, that would be a phenomenal pickup on the defensive line. Another offensive guard I really like is Sadiq Charles, who plays for Washington, played in the SEC, and Charles played at LSU, and he's just a late bloomer, slowly developing player. But I think as a guard, it's not going to cost you a lot of money. I think that would be a nice value pickup. Another guy that I really like is Willie Gay, the linebacker for the Chiefs. I mean, the one thing about impact speed on that second level, if you're not going to have Greenlaw, you know, I would love to see the 49ers add some more speed. Willie Gay's a sub 4.5 guy. And you saw the way he ran down Purdy in the Super Bowl on one of those plays. I mean, he is just, if he can stay healthy, I mean, Willie Gay and Fred Warner would give the Niners 2 just absolutely flying linebackers. You're not going to have Greenlaw this year. You can always go into the draft and look for guys, and there's a bunch of guys in the draft I like. But if you're going to address this need in free agency, go get Willie Gay. I mean, Willie Gay's just impact speed and just gives your defense that much more bite on that second level when you can just take away things because you got a guy who can run like this. Plus, reality is the Niners have struggled to beat the mobile quarterbacks, and if you had a guy like Willie Gay who could close down that space, I think that would help you going forward against the Kyler Murrays, the Russell Wilsons, you know, the Jalen Hurtses, the Patrick Mahomeses. I mean, Lamar Jackson. If you're going to contend for a Super Bowl in the years ahead, you got to be able to contend with the league's faster quarterbacks. And to me, a guy with the speed of Willie Gay, that's worth signing in free agency. And the last name on my list as my 10 men to look for the Niners in free agency, DJ Reader, the big defensive tackle nose guard for Cincinnati. You know, the Niners missed DJ Jones, and they have not replaced him. They missed Ridgeway when they let him get away. You know, if you can't stop the run at the point of attack, that's all you're going to get. And it's just hard to – there's only a few guys like this in the draft. Tavondre Sweat from Texas reminds me a lot of this kind of player. It's hard to find that big two-gapping nose guard who can absolutely take away the interior run lanes. And DJ Reader is that guy. So, you know, he's a little long in the tooth. He's a little older. He's not much of a pass rusher. But, man, if you could just get an A-gap monster like DJ Reader, it'd be a great place to start the kind of the rebuild of your defensive line with just a true fire plug nose guard who just says, you know what, you may be able to run on us today, but it is not going to be in the A-gaps because we've got DJ Reader. Or in the past, you know, the Niners had DJ Jones. In a lot of ways, DJ Reader is a similar version of DJ Jones. Just enormously strong at the point of attack. You cannot uproot him. He shuts down the run lanes in the A gap, and it's a valuable guy to have. So there you go. Those are my 10 free agents for the Niners. Kenny Moore, Kyle Duggar, Azeez Al-Shaair, Damian Lewis, Noah Fant, Carson Wentz, Jonathan Greenard, Sadiq Charles, Willie Gay, and DJ Reader. We'll amend that list 75 times between now and free agency. No, actually, those are my favorites, and I'll stick with it. But thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to our other sponsors as well. Thanks to you guys for supporting the Krug Show as we approach 40,000 subs on YouTube.